We're going to get off everybody to a very soft start with, wait for it, maybe not at all. Yes, Hine Matov. Now, if you have candles out in your home, now is the time to light them, as Cantor will sing with us the blessings for the candles. And as we get into this moment, I just want to say, all of us have different things. I have you can't see it because I'm facing it, but like a huge tech setup in the office that I can't move. So I have to be here and away from all of our Seder stuff in the kitchen. But I do have wine, worry not. And so as we light these candles, Arcady, great job. We bring in, despite everything, despite the tech woes, despite the world in chaos, we bring in some light on this Passover.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'echad likner shel yom tov.
And as we continue, just for the sake of time, since we started quite late, Cantor, I will spare you the full festival Kiddush, because I'm sure that everybody last night, every single person on this call did the full festival Kiddush. So I think that we can let ourselves have the luxury of the first and second and third and fourth cup just being the short Kiddush. So if you would please raise with us whatever you have to drink.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, baret et yagafen.
L'chaim. So if you have a little bit of greenery in front of you, one of the things that we do for Passover is celebrate its connection to spring. And that is actually the oldest part of the holiday. So if you have some of that fruit of the earth, the green that symbolizes springtime and the first growths, now is the time where you take it and you dip it in salt water to remember that even though we're enjoying the bounty of spring, we are also remembering a time of bitter slavery. And for the prayer for eating green things that grow from the earth, we join together in reading the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri ha'adamah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who brings fruit out of the earth.
Amen.
Now, this is where the Cantor and I sort of went back and forth over what exactly we were going to do, because, you know, we could just have the Cantor lead us and tell everyone, well, you can just sing along at home, which is what we normally do because it works very well. But I do see a number of families here, and strength in numbers, what I'm looking for right now is a family with kids where no one would be alone in needing to do this. Ooh, Schmulensons. Okay, I got a wave. I'm going to say that that's permission. I just took you off mute. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay. Do all of you together feel like you could lead us in the 4 questions?
Sure.
Amazing. Okay, you're being super, super brave. So I am going to spotlight your video so that everybody can see you. Okay, so you can wave and everyone can see you. Go ahead and give a wave. All right, and I'm gonna change the slides as you go. So ready? Just go ahead and jump straight in the deep end. Go for it.
מה נשתנה הלילה הזה מכל הלילות, מכל הלילות, שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים חמץ ומצה, חמץ ומצה. הלילה הזה כולו מצה, הלילה הזה כולו מצה, שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים שאר ירקות, שאר ירקות. הלילה הזה מרור, מרור, הלילה הזה מרור, מרור, שבכל הלילות אנו מבלים אפילו פעם אחת, אפילו פעם אחת. הלילה הזה שתי פעמים, הלילה הזה שתי פעמים, שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים בין ישרינו בין מסובים, בין ישרינו בין מסובים. הלילה הזה כולנו מסובים, הלילה הזה כולנו מסובים.
Fantastic. So good. 10 out of 10. Would ask all 4 questions again if I had the same people to ask them for me. Really, really, really well done. So let's see. Unmute the cantor, spotlight the video, and get back to PowerPoint. So I changed the PowerPoint instead of whose video I'm looking at. Okay.
Really awesome. Really
They were so, so good.
so good.
So I'm going to stop the screen share for just a moment, and we are going to go to a video that will take us through the 4 sons. And once I get that up, I'm going to unmute everyone, including myself and the cantor, and share with the magic of sound. Probably here.
Karpus, Beitza, Zeroa, Chroset, Maror, and of course, Matzah. Aren't I wise? I know all about Passover. We were slaves in Egypt. Then Moses got up in Pharaoh's face with frogs and locusts all, "Let my people go." And then Pharaoh was like, "Yo, enough already, get out of here." To honor my parents, I'll ask a question at the Seder tonight. What is the meaning of all this? Of all the commandments and laws and traditions that God commanded you? After all, I am the wise son. I want to know.
Oh, please, Mr. Wise Guy, lighten up. He drives our parents crazy. I can't believe we're still doing this. I mean, hello, pharaohs, they don't exist anymore. There was an exodus, movement of the people. We're free. Why do we need to sit around for a zillion hours every year talking about it? Mom, Dad, Aunt Ruth, what's the meaning of all this Seder stuff to you?
I can't believe he would say such a thing. How pompous.
Look who's calling me pompous.
If you were in Egypt, God wouldn't have freed you.
Well, if you were in Egypt, everyone would have been so bored of you that they would have thrown you over into the Nile.
Why, you little...
Hey guys, what's this?
The Passover Seder plate, you blithering simpleton.
You wouldn't understand. It's very wise.
What do you do at a Passover Seder?
Pretty much, you starve for a long time and then, well, finally you get to have matzo ball soup.
We read together from this book that tells of our departure from the land of Egypt.
There are all these arguments in there. Like, some people think there were 10 plagues, and some people think there were 40, and some people think there were 50.
Disagreeing is part of the learning. They're all different ways to add up to the same thing.
So they still argue about it. That's my favorite part.
Oh, this is the holiday where we eat all those special foods.
Duh, that's every holiday.
It's not about the eating. It's about the symbols. The charoset is a tasty way to remember the bricks and cement our ancestors mixed. The bitter herbs are about
Bitterness?
oh, my stars and garters.
Well, he's right.
I like eating. It means we're free.
I suppose that is a sign of freedom, sitting around and enjoying a meal with the family.
And showing off with the questions we ask.
Hey, what about Junior?
Dudes, is it another holiday already? Whoa, I can't believe he even came tonight.
Yeah, he never shows up. Jealous.
I bet he doesn't even know how to ask a question.
Why don't we show him?
You could ask, why is this night different from all other nights?
Or, how can we sit here and celebrate freedom while there is still slavery and suffering in the world?
Or, where's the challah?
How about, why don't we have any sisters?
And we are back. And we are going to jump back into our virtual Haggadah. Everyone is so well behaved, Cantor, when they're all on mute all the time, don't you think?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Few people said that you were ready to read. I can sort of see everyone's names, but just so you know, I see the list of whatever the name is on your account. So if your name is like the title of a phone or an acronym or something that is not obvious, I don't necessarily know who everyone is, but a few people already volunteered. So Rocklands, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
All right, would you please read this first haiku here? And if you have one, hold up a shank bone.
I don't. Here's Jonathan's foot. Okay. Slaying of firstborn, blood smeared on Hebrews' thresholds, God passed over us.
And the second one?
The Torah instructs a Passover sacrifice and just eat brisket.
More delicious, but slightly less frenetic than the sacrificial cult version of the original Passover lamb would have been. So the next item of our haiku is technically not on the Seder plate, but it is something that I thought warranted its own haiku. Let's see, the Norton family, I'm unmuting you.
Okay, what are we doing?
Hello. Yes. we're paying
Hi,
attention.
we can hear you. Would you please read us the two matzah haikus?
Is that the?
Oh, you're all far from the thing because you have it. I mean, by the way, you have such a picturesque spread here. Can I just say, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Fleeing from Egypt, no time for the bread to rise, hasten to freedom, like the box it's in, cardboard taste. Truly, this is bread of affliction.
Thank you very much. Okay. Herbst, because of your hilarious comments, I'm about to find you and unmute you. There you are. I love the search function.
All right, here we
can
go.
you hear me, Adam?
I can.
Okay.
You good?
Adam recommended in the chat box that next year's challenge is going to be Passover limericks, and I am 100% behind this initiative. I think we should absolutely go for it. please, everyone hold up whatever bitter herb you have. If you hold up a family member, that's okay too. Would you please read the two for the maror?
Clearing sinuses, God's gift in helping us eat, the gefilte fish. For maror, we use horseradish. It represents bitter slavery.
Thank you very much. Okay. Sarah Stoloff is going to get volunteered for this one.
Okay. Hello.
You know why I volunteered you for this one, right, Sarah?
Because I am your sister.
Yeah, but also because there's a Lion King reference, and we went to see the Lion King like 20 times when you were so small, and then it came back out again in its 20-year release, and you had not remembered seeing it, even though we went 20 times. Anyway, this is my sister and Trey, her boyfriend. They're joining us from North Carolina, and it's great to see them. This is our first Passover together in quite a long time, as I say that, which I know a lot of families are dealing with the same sort of reunification of Passover. So will you two please read the egg haikus?
Yes. Slaying of firstborn, blood smeared on Hebrews' thresholds, God passed over us. You're supposed to read too. The Torah instructs a Passover sacrifice. We just eat brisket.
No, wait, not that one. Hold on. It doesn't go left to right. It goes up and down. Do the spring finally here.
Spring finally here. New season begins again. I am the Eggman.
Thanks, Sarah. All right. Tracy, our Egypt specialist. You're off mute.
Okay.
The two in the bottom right corner, please, and everyone hold up or look at your haroset.
As slaves in Egypt, tired feet squish mud and straw, bricks of slavery. Made with sweet apples, it helps keeps us regular with all that matzah. Amen.
Thank you very much. All right, Nylene, I'm unmuting you. You'll see why in just a moment. There are a few different things that we can put on our Seder plates that are not typically on there. So wave at the camera, I'll see you, or you can raise your hand electronically if you have an orange on your Seder plate this year or in some years. Hold it up if you got it. Excellent. I see some oranges. And then I'm going to spotlight my own video for a second. I have here a lock. It's unlocked. Really, it should be a locked lock because there are a bunch of things that we can put on a Seder plate that can bring social justice literally onto our table. And that's why I am having Nylene and her helper read these two. But a quick story for each of these. One of the orange has two stories. I'll tell the folklore first. This is not true, but it's the better story. A Orthodox rabbi was asked about his thought. He was the chief rabbi of Jerusalem or the chief rabbi of Israel, depending on the folklore. What do you think about women rabbis and women cantors? And he said, a woman belongs on the bima, like an orange belongs on the Seder plate. And then poof, oranges on the Seder plate all over the world the very next year. The actual origins are much more social justice oriented. It came out of the LGBTQ movement first in the 80s and 90s. And the reason that they chose an orange is because they felt like they didn't have a place in the regular Jewish community, not only at Passover Seders, but they felt like it was very obvious then, but all through the year. And you'll remember, many of you, in Rabbi Paul's tenure with the big social justice initiative in the temple for LGBTQ stuff. And that type of stuff is helping people who once felt completely marginalized and like they did not have a seat at the table feel like that they can be included in the Jewish community. So the lock is even more, I think, overtly clear in its symbolism. Right now, as we have the Seder, there are, of course, people who don't have the freedom to say no, that don't have freedom of movement, and that are enslaved currently. And that includes modern slavery and human trafficking. So to honor that in our Seder, Nylene, would you please?
Aren't you glad it's starting to be normal-ish, a place for all folks? Locked down, can't say no, yearning to be free, hoping. Let's act for freedom.
Thank you very much. All right, Cantor, I am going back to you, I think. Okay. I did have a Mad Lib prepared, but it would take, honestly, a little bit too long. But just so that everybody knows, here it is. It's really good. If you want it for your own Seders next year, email me and I will send it to you. However, instead of that, I am going to show one of my favorite Passover videos that takes you through the Maggid relatively quickly. I showed this at one of our Passover, ready Zooms, but I don't remember which one. But I think most people here have not seen this. Well, it would be fast if I could see it anywhere. Aha, here we go. Okay, once more, we screen share with the sound, and here we go. This should be the story of Passover exactly as you remember.
Once there was a baby that his name was Moses. A long time ago, there was a mean man named Pharaoh. He was short and he was skinny. I don't know what kind of hat he wears. He just wears a hat. He has this thing that goes like this. He wanted to rule the world. The slaves were the Jews, had to work all day and night, and the slaves had to build statues of him, and pyramids and sphinxes. Okay, so Pharaoh thought that the Hebrews will be against him, so he sent all the firstborn sons to die. So there was a mother. She had a big belly, and then there was a born baby. She put him in the river. He was in the river, and Pharaoh's daughter, found him and felt sorry for him. I'll call you Moses. When Moses was older, he crossed the desert, and then he saw this really big bush, a burning bush that it was talking. And he said to, you have to go and save the Jews. Oh, well, now I can go to Pharaoh and do this. And then Moses came, and he said, let my people go. Pharaoh said, what do you mean? You're Egyptian? No, I'm Jewish. And then Pharaoh said, no. Okay, I'm gonna go here. The water turned to blood. Frogs started coming in. Ants, people, chicken pox. Oh, there was also light. Darkness, unlimited homework. And finally, Pharaoh said, yes, just take them. They were afraid that he would come back and be like, no. And then Moses would be like, oh, no, you didn't. Oh, yes, I did. So he just hurried, put some stuff in the oven. And they got this sort of cracker called matzah. They went as fast as they could to the Red Sea. But then Pharaoh changed his mind, so his men started chasing them. Moses put his staff in the sea, and it got into two. And then they went through. But then all the Egyptian army came. And then an alien goes to Earth. I want revenge. There was lots of fire. All the Jews were happy and they found lots of parties. And then they lived happily ever after in Israel. If you like this story, please pass it over to
Okay, moving right along. At this point in our Seder, we come to the plagues a little bit more seriously, and we think of the plagues that happen in the story that we retell, and also we will think together of 10 modern plagues. And of course, I'll say even before we get there that we are currently living through something like a modern plague. Just like the plagues in Egypt, it would have affected different people in different ways. It would have affected different people if you were older or if you were younger, if you were richer or if you were poorer. And one plague does not affect everyone equally then or now. So the tradition here is, and you don't need to have a whole Seder setup to do this. All you need is a safe thing to dip your wine or whatever you're drinking, even water is fine, from your glass onto something else. And this happens before one of the 4 cups. And the idea is we are literally diminishing the amount of joy that we are experiencing during the Passover Seder, because we recall that this was a horrific thing that happened to other human beings. Wine is the symbol of joy in Judaism. And so by removing wine from the cup symbolically, we are acknowledging that our joy at our moment of redemption was lessened, that it happened at the expense of the suffering of other people. And so as I say the word in Hebrew, we will dip whatever we're using into the glass. And as we say it together in English, we will remove that drop together. So everyone else is on mute, and I'll just ask you to say them with me now. Dam, blood. Tzfardea, frogs. Kinim, lice. Arov, wild beasts. Dever, blight. Shechin, boils. Barad, hail. Arbeh, locusts. Choshech, darkness. Makat bechorot, slaying of the firstborn. And we continue doing the exact same thing now with these 10 modern plagues. This list could be far, far too long, but these are some of the things that truly plague our global society. Whether it affects our own life personally or not, does not make it any less of a plague. And so we continue together, removing our joy symbolically. Coronavirus, homelessness, poverty, hunger, gun violence, terrorism, intolerance, human trafficking, relationship abuse, the refugee crisis, and silence in the presence of evil. And we can't help but acknowledge that at this time, most of those modern plagues are being made worse due to coronavirus. When we think of homelessness and hunger and domestic abuse and the refugee crisis, it's a time where we feel the need to seek help, to maybe even pray in a way that we're not used to praying personally. And so I'm going to read, and I invite you to read with me, if you're able to see the screen clearly, a poem by Rabbi Naomi Levy that is a prayer of hope during this pandemic that we are all living through together. We're frightened, God. We're worried for our loved ones. We're worried for the world. We're helpless and confused, and we turn to you, seeking comfort, faith, and hope. Teach us, God, to turn our panic into patience, our fear into acts of kindness and support. Our strong must watch out for our weak. Our young must take care of our old. Help each one of us do our part to halt the spread of this virus. Send strength and courage to the doctors and nurses in the front lines of this battle. Fortify them with the full force of their healing powers. Send wisdom and insight into the scientists working day and night across the world to discover healing treatments. Bless their efforts, God. Fill our leaders with wisdom and the courage to choose wisely and act quickly. Help us, God, to see that we are one world, one people, who will rise above this pandemic together. Send us health, God. Watch over us. Grace us with love. Bless us with healing. Hear us, heal us, and we say together, Amen. Before we reach our next cup, not that I'm counting my own cups or anyone else's, we will sing Diana together. So I am going to bring the video back to our cantor. And I expect to see everyone singing along And we will add in spirit as many of these positives as these positives would have been enough, any one of them. When we think about our current situation, it's more like enough already. So we join together.
So let's start from the chorus, and please sing along, and you can also dance. Die, 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 no, die, die, no, die, 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 no, die. אילו הוציאנו ממצרים, הוציאנו ממצרים, דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, 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 די דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, דיינו, דיינו. אילו נתן לנו את השבת, נתן לנו את השבת, דיינו. Die, 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 no, die, no, die, no, die, no, die, 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 no, die, no, die. Ilu natan mano, eta Torah, natan mano, eta Torah, die, no, die, 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 no, die, no, die, no, die, no, die,
And we hold up our cups of wine and join together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri agafen.
Amen. Now, this is going to be a completely photographic moment, but I want everybody to hold up your wine cups again. And I'm just going to take a picture of my screen with all of this and all of you holding up your wine glasses. Perfect. That one's going on the Facebook page. Okay. As we continue, I wanted to actually just pause on this one for a second. I'm not going to make anyone do it, but it is worth remembering that regular hand washing is actually a very ancient Jewish thing, and it is part of the actual order of the Passover service. And one of the sort of, I won't call it viral, but maybe Jewish viral things that went around is the new order for the Passover Seder being, basically it was the same order, except instead of washing the hands being just once before the meal, washing hands was between every single step. So I see some people moving around these symbolic bowls to use for hand washing that can be done right at the table. You can go and go off to the restroom or a sink and wash your hands there, but hand washing has taken on a new highlight in our global health, and we do have a blessing for it, and we share it together now. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu, al netilat yadayim, as we are commanded to wash our hands. And now, I know that everybody has been waiting. And by that, I mean, there are actually some people who have been waiting. So kudos to all of you who are really using this as your Seder this evening, and I hope that it's working for that. Now is the time to break off half of your middle matzah. The other half will be the afikomen that you can hide at home if you wish. But if you don't have the full spread right in front of you, you can grab any old piece of matzah, but the middle one is the one to use if you're going to hide the afikomen later. And this is the prayer that we bring in. One of the only actual rules in the Torah for all the Passover is to eat matzah. And so we join in this together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Enjoy. And then this would be really a first night prayer, but we're going to do it together now as well. The blessing for fulfilling that commandment of eating the matzah Normally it would just be a first night thing, but we're going to share it together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al achilat matzah, as we are commanded to eat matzah during Pesach. Steve Cohen.
Present.
I just unmuted you.
Thank you.
I would never ask your better half to read something about bitterness, but I'll ask you if you could see what's on the screen to read this reading for Maror.
Be happy to. In preparation for eating moror, it's customary to dip the bitter herbs into the sweet charoset, but not enough to take away from the taste of bitterness. By doing so, we fulfill the second dipping referred to the 4 questions. Since maror is a symbol of bitter enslavement and reclining is a symbol of freedom, we do not recline when we eat maror.
Thank you very much. The reclining thing is such an interesting one. If you have the vision in your mind of like a Greek person in some Greek movie or TV show or whatever, sort of like lounging about while they're eating, that's the reclining that the Passover questions are talking about, is that sort of reclining. Because if you were not a free citizen, you did not eat in that position the way the free citizens at that time did. And you can talk to Steve Monaway if you want to hear information about that for a couple hours. I'm actually not sure if he's on this call or not. So the ultimate combo for the maror, of course, is to combine it with the haroset with a little bit of Hillel sandwich. And what I am not finding is the blessing for the maror. I guess it's just Adamah, but I thought there was another blessing. Cantor, I'm unmuting you.
Yeah, I'll just say it. I'll just
Thank
say
you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al achilat maror.
Maror. Thank you very much.
And now we can eat.
And then go ahead and combine that with the sandwich. And as I promised that there would be time to go off mic a little bit and be a little bit more free, now is going to be that time. So, or one of those times. Think of this like when we in a Shabbat service will pause and share what we're grateful for that happened in the last week or that we're looking forward in the week to come. But think of it like the Passover during a pandemic gratitude. So like, what are the things about observing Passover right now that we are actually grateful to be able to do? And I will just share again the one that I already shared. This is me having a Passover Seder with my sister for the first time, and I really do not know how long. So that kind of stuff is really, really great. I'm going to stop the screen share. You can write it into the chat box to share with everyone there. I'll keep an eye on that and read it out loud as I see it. In a moment, I am going to unmute everyone. And well, first I need to, give me a moment, Cantor, I need to unspotlight you. And what you want to do is click on what's called gallery view. If you see one big screen and a bunch of little screens, that's not what you want to see. You want to see lots and lots of little screens. When I unmute everyone initially, everyone will just be off mute and it's going to sound probably quite bad. I'm going to immediately remute everyone, but in a way where you will be able to unmute yourselves. And oh wait, I can just do it directly. Okay, try and unmute yourself and see if it works, because I think it should.
Hello.
Excellent.
Hi.
Passover, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
That's me.
I put my arm in. It's not going to work. That's force.
Everybody unbox it.
Hungry.
Hi.
Hi.
What happened to the frogs?
Frank.
Ah.
Hello. Happy Passover.
So some of the thank yous in the box that I'm seeing, thank you for my family from recovering from the virus. scary for 20 days, but finally recovering. Charlotte said that she and I are grateful for our first Passover in New Jersey and with TAS. And you know what? Even with all of this ridiculousness going on, I would say that I am also, I would actually reaffirm that. We wouldn't have even had a second night community Seder. And in fact, one of the things I was going to put you on the spot for maybe towards the end, Steve, was just to sort of like try and remember the moment when we realized that we should do this, because I think that we had both had conversations with other people about the idea, and then you called me and you were like, Rabbi, what would you think about doing this? And before you even halfway finished the idea, I was like, yes, 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 yes. Grateful for the cats, grateful being part of the fun Seder with all of you. We're grateful for that excellent 4 questions. Really, really well done.
Just playing the organ. Harpsichord. Thanks.
The lights shared Passover last night with 13 relatives in 6 states. Love that. Yeah, Nylene and the Rocklands and us are going to have a cats only Zoom post Seder. That only felines are invited to.
We can get in on that. We have 5 cats for you to join.
Oh, excellent.
You're not muted.
Happy
Now-
Passover. I'm grateful to see
Dave
my
Slopes.
Happy Passover.
My cat.
Passover is
You see what is over my left shoulder here.
Hey, Hannah.
Let me
I
spotlight it.
want to get the cat. One cat.
I see.
See? Look at that.
You have your Beamer buddy.
I do, because I went into the temple to get a few necessities and I raided the Bima Buddy box.
No, you're supposed to wait to get that from me of Steve.
Well, my birthday was on March 24th, so I kind of missed out.
Hey, I have to get mine.
We owe you a pencil.
Yeah, absolutely.
You think you took a pencil?
Get that out of bar mitzvahs?
No, I don't know.
Birthdays, I get mine.
I gave you a pencil.
All right, now you may need to go back to the gallery view because I just did the spotlight thing to show off my Bima Buddy.
I see the slopes. The slopes.
Hey.
The Slopes is with us.
See my
Grateful for
sister.
family, friends, and the
Whoa,
TAS community.
See the cats?
Shout out to David and you.
Cats.
I put the cats on.
Shout out to
cats.
I didn't see it.
Oh, Jake was on.
We had Tyson on for a little bit.
Okay, he's coming back
That
now.
was the poor Nagi.
That's Dave's.
Now, another thing that I'm going to
Here's
say
Jake.
as I look at Steve, it's much easier to have, and I'm looking at the screens and I'm looking at the number of people on each screen. So it is way easier to have a congregational community Seder with about 120, 125 people online because we didn't have to figure out the catering. And then there's no cost, no cost, no hassle, no muss, no fuss. No cleanup. That's right. You're all responsible for your own spreads.
That's right. The Edelsteins, I just saw them.
I know. The Edelsteins are very funny. I want to see, I want to try and put David next to the rest of his family on my screen and hope
We've
that
already
will
done
make them feel
that
more
too many
connected.
times this past week.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hi, Slopes.
David.
Hi.
neighbors.
Hello.
He's
Oh, an empty table.
He's a sports anchor.
Miss you.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going
everyone.
to give everyone fair warning that we're going to go back on to group muting in just a minute.
Oh, did you see what that dog was doing?
Bye.
So the next everything that happens from this point on was slightly less planned in advance than what has gone on so far, because we just wanted to see how what is going to happen is we will first have our third glass of wine, which will help what will follow. And then before we conclude with the sort of final pieces of the Seder, Eliyahu, Hanavi, door open, the last cup of wine, we are going to do or at least attempt to do some Passover songs and games together. We have a few ideas. They will probably work, sort of, maybe. And we will try a mix of things that will be the cantor or I leading it and everyone singing along on mute. And we will even try one, maybe two, if the first one goes well, interactive pieces that will use a lot of multi-community engagement. So as we do this, I am going to send us back in a moment into the screen share for the, actually, we don't need the screen share for the wine blessing. Do we, Cantor? No. So go ahead and take your cups.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen. L'chaim. Okay. Now, the way this is going to work, theoretically, is I have a massive Word document with a whole bunch of songs in it, of song lyrics in it, and I am going to share them with all of us now, maybe. Let's see. There's my shirt again, in case anyone was curious. Okay. Screen share, no sound to Word, and here we are. But you're probably looking at a massive 2-page spread, and that's going to be too small for everybody. So Cantor, I think that you and I are the only ones that are off mute. Okay. What do you want to do first? Something really nice and standard. Do you want to go down Moses?
Oh, let's do go down Moses. Yeah.
Okay. So that one I have to copy and paste real quick.
I sent you the words in the chat.
And okay.
Okay, let's try it. When Israel was in Egypt land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land, tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. So Moses went to Egypt's land, let my people go. To make old Pharaoh understand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land, tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land, tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. Wow, it's a lot of songs.
Oh, I know. So I want to try an interactive one next. I want to try Chad Gadya the way we did it with religious school. Okay, cool. So I'm going to run this one. And first I have to find it. I think it's this one. Okay. So as you may or may not have seen, if you're following the chat, my sister immediately requested Chad Gadya, and that is because it was a very, very serious deal in our family Passover Seder growing up because of our Zeta, who would do the entire thing in one breath. And he would like race you to see if you could complete Chad Gadya faster than he could complete it. Now that would be very, very difficult to do over Zoom. So instead, I'm going to use the approach of a friend of mine, where basically I will need, let's see, I'm going to call on certain people to be sound effects. Okay, and so each time we get to that piece of the song, you have to do that sound effect. Now you'll need to be unmuted for that. And what that means is I'm basically going to sing, If you are muted, sing with me, please. If you are unmuted for the sound effect, you're only doing the sound effect. Okay? Now I'm going to basically be working with the screens that I can personally see on my own computer here to be able to see who I can call on for the sound effects. But if you get your sound effect, remember you're doing it every time that comes up. So we're going to need a goat, and we are going to need a cat. If anyone can get their cats to make a sound on command, that would theoretically also work. A dog, we need a stick, we need a fire sound, we need a water sound, we need an ox sound, we need a butcher sound. You could see, by the way, that this language was changed because we were with the religious school and there were like, pre-K students there. So we had to soften it up a little bit. But we need the ox sound, the butcher sound, the angel of death sound, and we need a sound for God. And remember, the earlier you volunteer, like if you volunteer as the goat, you're going to be the goat every single time. If you volunteer for God, you only need to be God one time. So what I'm going to do, and which is different than I did with the religious school where I assigned them as we went through the song, I'm going to assign all of the sounds first. So if you are interested in volunteering for a sound, either write your sound that you want in the chat box or wave your hand or something. Okay, so Zimmerman's are on for the cat. Jen is on for the, oh, and hold on, you know what? I'm gonna switch this to where you can unmute yourselves to make my life a little bit more easy. Okay. So.
I'm a goat.
Great, so the goat is done. Sarah, unmute yourself for the dog. If you can get Doodle to perform, that'd be great.
He's ready.
Solomon for water is great. Zimmerman for cat. If I'm saying your name, unmute yourself. We've got the oxes covered. Excellent. Laurie, why don't you do the stick? Okay, you can be creative for that one. So I think we still, let's see, we've got the goat, we've got the dog, we've got the stick. We still need fire, I think.
Jake.
Jake is on for fire. Oh, the Bermans want to be something.
No,
Okay.
no, I was waving to your mother.
Oh, that's so nice.
Thank you.
Ema, do you want to do a sound for the song?
I'll be the butcher.
Okay. We need an angel of death and we need God. Any takers? Oh, Jane, can you, all right, let's see. You got anybody running around your house that can give me a good angel of death?
I'll see if I can find someone. Give me a sec.
Sure thing. They've got time because it's late in the song.
All right.
Okay, and then let's see. I still need someone to be God.
You do it, Rabbi Jim.
Okay, I'll do God. Fine.
You are the rabbi.
All right. So you know what? I want to take it back now because of that association. So basically, if you're on mute, you can sing along. If you were unmuted, do not sing along because the timing will not sync and it will sound terrible. If you are off mute, it is because you have a sound effect and you basically just make the sound during the pause. By the time we get to the dog and the stick, it'll start making sense. By the time we get to the fire and the water, I want it to start moving like clockwork. So together, if you're on mute. Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya. My father bought for 2 zuzim. Goat sound. Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya. Then came the cat.
Meow.
That ate the goat. My father bought for 2 zuzim. Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya. Then came the dog.
Oh, he didn't do it.
Sarah.
We're working on it.
That bit the cat.
Meow.
That ate the goat. My father bought for 2 zuzim. Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya. Then came the stick.
Oh, look at my picture of Benny.
Sorry, Laurie, you're on mute. I gotta unmute you. Okay, do it. You know what? It's not loud enough. Just
Okay,
just
one
make a-
moment. I got a lot of things here. Okay. At first, I
amazing.
put in this from the fireplace, but
I'm gonna stop the screen share for this, and you're just gonna have to listen because the ability to watch what Laurie and other people are doing with this is just too much. Okay, so let's start back at the stick. Then came the stick that beat the dog, that bit the cat,
meow,
that ate the goat. My father bought for two Zuzim chad gad ya, chad gad ya. Then came the fire. Did we get a fire? Who's fire? That works, whoever that was. Burnt the stick. Stick. Excellent. That beat the dog. That bit the cat.
Meow.
That ate the goat. My father bought for two Zuzim chad gad ya, chad gad ya. Then came the water.
Can't hear
it. I have.
Oh, you might need to, the sound effects from objects are not being picked up in the microphones as much as they would be if we were around the table. There we go. That quenched the fire. That burnt the stick. That beat the dog. That bit the cat.
Meow.
That ate the kid. My father bought for two Zuzim chad gad ya, chad gad ya. Then came the ox that drank the water, that quenched the fire, that burnt the stick, that beat the dog, that bit the cat,
Meow.
that ate the goat. Goat. My father bought for two Zuzim chad gad ya, chad gad ya. Then came the butcher that cooked the ox, drank the water. Okay, they quenched the fire, that burnt the stick, that beat the dog, that bit the cat,
Meow.
that ate the goat. My father bought for two Zuzim chad gad ya, chad gad ya. Then came the angel of death. Great. That killed the butcher. That cooked the ox. That drank the water. That quenched the fire. That burnt the stick. That beat the dog. That beat the dog. That bit the cat.
Meow.
That ate the goat. My father bought for two Zuzim chad gad ya, chad gad ya. And came the Holy One, blessed be God. Destroyed the angel of death. That killed the butcher. That cooked the ox. That drank the water. That quenched the fire. That burnt the stick. That beat the dog. That bit the cat. That bit the cat.
Meow, meow.
That ate the goat. All right, everybody together. Even if you're off mute, it'll sound great. My father bought for two Zuzim chad gad ya, chad gad ya.
I remember the children's book when I was little.
That my brother used to make me try to do the whole thing in one breath.
That is exactly the same thing that our grandfather used to force us to do. I think I can probably do it. In came the Holy One, blessed be he, destroyed the angel of death, that killed the butcher, that cooked the ox, that drank the water, that quenched the fire, that burnt the stick, that beat the dog, that bit the cat, that ate the kid, my father brought for two Zuzim chad gad ya, chad gad ya.
Wow. Rabbi, Adam Phelps is asking, why is this a traditional Passover song exactly? And I have no idea.
Oh gosh, it's some crazy Eastern European thing. I mean, it's like all Yiddish, 100% Eastern European. You're not going to find this in other streams of Judaism, you know. And it's like any good Eastern European Jewish tradition. No one comes out well, right? The father spent money on the goat gets eaten, the cat gets bitten, the dog gets beaten, the stick gets burned, the fire gets put out, the water gets drunk, the ox gets butchered, the butcher gets killed, and even the angel of death gets destroyed. So other than God, your life will be horrible. So says the Eastern European Jewish mindset, basically. And on that uplifting note, let's find maybe a super participatory, what cup are we on?
Can we do Miriam's song?
Rabbi,
Oh yeah, totally.
can I say something, Rabbi?
Yeah, please.
This is Linda. In my family, Phil is one of the only ones who knows this song that came over from Russia with his family. He doesn't know the origin of it, but it's called Balak Phil Nishfalin, a Yiddish version of Chad Gad Yah. But in this case, it's about the God ordering the pears to fall from the tree, and they don't want to do it. So one by one, he orders the cat and the stick. Well, that's all very similar. But then he comes down himself, and everything for the angel of death. He let's see, took the. I'm trying to see now. It's sort of backwards now. Took the butcher that killed the ox, that drank the water, that quenched the fire, that burned the stick, that beat the dog, that bit the cat, that ate the kid. My father brought for 2 zuzim, Chad Gad Yah, Chad Gad Yah. And
This is much more wholesome.
We wrote it down, and there's a chorus that everyone sings and is learning in our family. We have it in our songbook, and my son usually does a very good job of singing it. He's heard it for so many years, but it's a real treasure, and I want to show you a version of it sometime.
Absolutely. I want to see it.
And
That
Cantor
sounds
Maria.
great. And the thing that I like the most is that it is, it really is a more positive version of that very, very, very popular song that if you think about it too much, you realize, wow, no one comes out well from this. So to bring it a little bit more upbeat, I'll need to go and just move my, setup around a little bit so I can grab my guitar. But we're going to do Miriam's song. We're going to do the chorus,
can I
verse
lead it?
1, and then the chorus.
Can I lead it, Rabbi?
Go for it. Please, please, please.
Because I struggle so much with the English in the verse that for me it's kind of a little victory every time I make it through the.
A Pesach miracle.
So for me, it's like a Passover Exodus almost every
Great.
time. And the women dancing with the timbrels followed me. She sang her song, sing a song to the home, one from the exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wore was once the same of history. With every stand and every thread he crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she danced toward the light. And the women dancing with the timbrels followed me. And she sang her song, sing a song to the one who exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. One more time, the chorus together. And the women dancing with the timbrels followed Miriam and she sang her song, sing a song to the one who exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long.
I would like to say that that was amazing. And I took a picture of everyone on the screen when everyone went, woo, at the same time with your arms and everything. And it is a great picture. I do want to be time conscious because we are now a half hour past when we might have ended had things worked differently. But I do want to check with you, Cantor. Is there anything else other than Eliyahu Anavi that you really want to do?
I mean,
Let's do something in Hebrew, actually, whether it's Adirhu or,
Yeah, do we have words for Adiru, Rabbi?
yeah, I can pull that up.
Okay, we can do it. Let's do Adiru and then Eliyahu and Navi, and then people will eat, right? Because
Well, people are eating, have been eating, will be eating.
yeah, my family started to eat already.
I mean, I ate before. So,
Do you have the words for Adiru?
I have the words in English and transliteration, but not in Hebrew. But I think it'll be good enough.
That's good
Let,
enough.
let me, before you start it though, just tell me that this looks good to you when I put it on the screen share, please.
Yep,
All right.
let's try it. Just the first verse. Adiru, Adiru, Ivne Vito Bekarov, Bimyera, Beyameinu Bekarov, En Bene, I don't see it. Bnei Bekarov, Adiru, Adiru. Let's do the English verse. I don't see anything, Rabbi. But we did it somehow.
Sorry.
did
It's
it
not the, sorry, let's back out of the screen share. That was my mistake. Sorry about that, Cantor. Let's go back to, yeah. Just have to find it. I've now got so many windows open that I'm starting to lose my place among them. So as we do this, if you're close to a door or a window, go take a peek, see if there is anyone over there that looks like a prophet that instead of dying went up to join God in a flaming chariot of achievement from a lifetime of challenging authority figures, a lifetime of doing small miracles to help people. Elijah wasn't like Moses, he didn't perform God's miracles in big ways. He did it small ways. So, he might help someone become pregnant, or he might help someone with a sick cow. He might help your cow get better, but he would walk up to a king and tell them what they were doing wrong and what they needed to do right and how they needed to help the poorest and the most vulnerable. And so we look for him as a sign of times getting better. And we do that on Passover as we welcome the spring new year, and we sing this song together.
Eliyahu Anavi, Eliyahu Atishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagilati, Imyera Beyameinu, Yavo Eleinu, Imashiach ben David, Imashiach ben David, Eliyahu Anavi, Eliyahu Atishbi, Eliyahu Akilati.
Thank you, Cantor. I am just, my computer's getting acting up just a little bit. So I did see one request in the chat box for Who Knows One, Cantor, if you want to do a little bit of that.
Who knows?
Echad Meodea.
Yeah, I love that. Let's do it. We even have it.
All right, let's do that. I don't think we have time to do the crazy interactive version, which, by the way, I don't know if my mom is still on the call or not, but it's her version. where she would assign everyone the number and then like time how long it would take to get through, and everyone would have to say their number. So if you were number 13, you only had to go once. And if you were number 1, you had to go every single time. But this one, I know that I have ready to go.
Yeah, I put it in the thing, and let's just do once from number 13.
I agree. Same page.
Starting with the 13. Yep, that's how I think that's how I put it in. Yep.
All right.
I'm
It's a
starting
bit
to-
tight, but it is all there.
Just hope I will see it. Okay, let's start. Let's ready. 13 מי יודע, 13 אני יודע, 13 מידיה, 12 שוויה, 11 כוכביה, 10 דבריה, 9 יחלידה, 8 ימי מילה, 7 ימי שבתא, 6 סדרי משנה, 5 חומשי תורה, 4 אמהות, 3 אהבות, 2 לוחות הברית, 1 אלוהינו, 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 שבשמיים ובארץ. Yeah, it was really hard to go just from the last one to the
And also from the reading tiny transliteration, having grown up in Israel, has got to be the least effective way to lead a Hebrew song absolutely possible. But thank you for giving us a taste of that. I know it's a favorite for a lot of people. I would like to invite everyone to hold up whatever it is that you are drinking with us this evening. And before our cantor leads us in this blessing, I am canceling the spotlight. If you can, I want you to, we are no longer screen sharing. Up in the upper right corner, if you don't see a Brady Bunch grid group here, in the upper right corner, you can click on it and it will take you to what's called gallery view, and you can see lots and lots of faces here with us. I want to say a huge thank you to every single one of you for being with us despite technical and logistical and administrative challenges, despite mistakes, that we are all here, that we are all together on this Passover, in many ways closer and close to each other in ways that we would not have been without the coronavirus. It just shows that through everything that history has ever thrown at the Jewish people, it has always been met with creativity of life and living and finding joy even amongst the most horrible circumstances. So we are all in this together. Happy Passover to you all. Please join us in the blessing for Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
L'chaim.
And Eileen says next year at TAS, which is a great.
Will you lead us in Lashana Haba? I'm not going to even bother putting the words up. The words are Lashana Haba'a, Lashana Haba'a, Lashana Haba'a, Be'Yerushalayim.
Lashana Haba'a, Lashana Haba'a, Lashana Haba'a, Be'Yerushalayim. Lashana Haba'a, Lashana Haba'a, Lashana Haba'a, Be'Yerushalayim. Lashana Haba'a, Lashana Haba'a, Be'Yerushalayim. Lashana Haba'a, Lashana Haba'a, Be'Yerushalayim. Lashana Haba'a, Lashana Haba'a, Lashana Haba'a, Be'Yerushalayim. Lashana Haba'a, Lashana Haba'a, Lashana Haba'a, Be'Yerushalayim. And David Edelson just found the Afikomen.
Oh, Mazel Tov. So you hid it yourself and found it yourself. Is that right?
And yes, and if you would like it, you're gonna have to pay for it.
I have switched it to where people are able to unmute themselves. We ended by saying next year in Jerusalem, which really means next year may all be free. May we be free of this quarantine and virus. May everyone who was in captivity and not even able to celebrate their freedom in this way be free in truth. And truly, 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 we look forward to every day getting better, and next year having a Passover where we can be with each other in person.